Hey everybody, hope you've had a great holiday season. You're staying healthy and happy. Today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite types of bags, which is the duffel bag. I use duffel bags for just about everything I do, from travel, which I do very frequently, both domestic and international, for work and for vacation, as well as gym trips and any other kind of weekend trips that I need, or even long day trips with my kids. I've always got kind of a duffel bag handy. And I picked up a new favorite, which is this black full grain leather bag from T&L Leather out of El Paso. Grabbed this when I was visiting my brother who lives there for a quick holiday trip. So let's get into the bag. I'll share a few details and price point, and we'll talk about why I think it's an overall great value. So in terms of the build quality, let's first look at this. So material-wise, it is chrome tan leather. I was able to meet the maker in El Paso while I was there and talk to him briefly about his bags, his process. He's got a wonderful selection in downtown El Paso, by the way, and as well as an online store and website, which I'll link to. But I was pretty impressed with the bags' uh, overall quality, and I'll get into some of those reasons why. The first is I love having this reinforced extra piece here. It's very thick leather that has been sewn on. I would guess by machine. I actually didn't ask if he did hand sewn versus machine, but for as many bags as he probably produces, and just the overall size of each bag, my guess would be he's got some kind of machine in place. But the stitching looks to be very high quality. It's not super thick. Like, I've personally used thicker widths of stitching for some of my own products that I make, but I think so far it's sufficient, probably more than enough, and I think it looks pretty sleek and streamlined. So it's got the nice. I also like on the bottom here, he's got just a very subtle logo and some branding for his shop. Again, I prefer kind of subtle branding on bags. There are a couple companies, which I've even talked about on this channel, who really want to go way above and beyond on kind of putting garish branding and different logos and such on bags that I don't like as much, because I'd prefer them to be a bit cleaner. Please excuse, I've already scuffed the bag and gotten a little bit dirty. I've taken it on a couple different trips at this point, so it's already gotten some love and I need to clean it. And here's another little logo that he's included, but that's just about it for branding. As you can see here, where there's high stress point, he's kind of doubled up the leather and done an internal sort of stitching, which I think looks really nice. I think it's a nice touch. You can see it's kind of rolled across the side here, but that roll and double stitching just makes the bag feel a lot hardier and a lot sturdier, gives it some structure. And my expectation is that I'm not going to need to replace anything here, because a stitching's popped out and there's suddenly some hole or something giving way. So we will see. Obviously, I'll update you, but again, I love having this extra thick piece at the bottom here, where the bag's going to just get a lot of impact, kind of scuffs and damage. As you can kind of already see, I've given him these pieces here with just normal use. And that's the overall kind of bottom of the bag. Now, if we flip over to the sides here, you get a kind of a back look at this. And I do appreciate having these pockets here. So I've taken this to the gym a couple times, and I'm able to stuff keys and like headphone cases and such in here, so that it doesn't get lost. There's actually no kind of interior compartments that help me sort that kind of stuff out, as I'll show you. So it's kind of nice to have both the pocket here, as well as two separate pockets on the back. And you can actually see I've got some headphones in here. I also love that the straps kind of are, first of all, they're kind of a fix here. And I think that is a nice move. I have a Filson duffel, which I've talked about, where the strap is actually just kind of loose and kind of connected through loops, and so it's sort of affixed to the bag, but it's not stitched all the way down here. So we'll see how. We'll actually see. I like the look of this better but I'm wondering if, with a lot of picking up and putting down and just kind of jerking motion, if it will wear out these stitches over time, so that I'll kind of have wished it was the Filson way, where, it's not totally affixed to the bag, and it's just held in with kind of different loops here. But we'll see. Again, I like the streamlined look. It looks pretty clean. I do love how the straps are kind of on the underside of the bag. You don't see them. They're covered with additional leather pockets. As far as the strap goes, it gives you two options for basically however you want to carry the bag. In this case, if you, as opposed to having one option that's just kind of on the middle, which some bags will do. I prefer this way, and you should, personally, in my opinion, you should kind of look for bags that give you this option, because however the strap is being held, I won't be able to show you here, but it's going to kind of conform, and the bag is kind of curve inward so that it kind of hugs your body a little bit more, which I think is better to carry it, as opposed to it swinging kind of outward, and then it just feels like you're always kind of bumping the bag away, especially when this thing gets heavy. You don't want to do that. So those are the strap hookups on either side. So in terms of storage, if you open up the bag here, I'll just tell you straight out, it actually is a little tough to keep things organized in here, because, especially when I take this to the gym, I'm like grabbing one thing, I'm grabbing some straps, I'm putting shoes back in after I've changed, and there's not a lot of organizing kind of dividers. There are no additional kind of pockets on the interior, so it really is just a big open space, which I think is fine for most cases. Like, I'm probably going to use this bag for kind of weekend trips, day trips, and maybe, if I'm doing like 3 nights somewhere for work, I think this is the perfect size for that. And then, whenever you get to the hotel or something, just take everything out, organize it, and, you won't have something that looks like this. But this gives you a sense of the capacity of this guy. Quite a lot of stuff in here. Again, a lot of gym equipment, as well as just some change of clothes, basically. I think anything longer than a 5-day trip, this bag would actually be a bit too small. But it could be a companion carry-on for, multiple weeks if you have a little suitcase roller or something that this can just kind of sit with. So anyway, that's the interior. Pretty simple. The zipper is a YK. It's my one complaint, so it feels very heavy duty, brass kind of fixture here for everything. My one complaint is that the zipper itself is pretty small. So it's even kind of, it's a little bit difficult to kind of grab at times, especially when I'm on the go and looking to just take something out. I wish it would have included a little bit of a leather strap where you can kind of just, it extends out and you can just kind of grab it and open and close. I'll probably add one of those myself. I'm pretty sure I could just find one on YouTube and affix it myself, no big deal. But that's the one complaint, is that the zipper itself feels like it's appropriately sized and sturdy, but the mechanism you just grab on here, it's very small. All right, I'm going to do one more shot of the interior here. I've cleaned everything out. You can see, again, how on the bottom part, he has kind of double rolled the leather to make it doubly thick, and done a kind of a, just a sewing inside to kind of really have a nice border. So it's very soft, it's not sharp, it's not multiple kind of smaller pieces of leather. He's really taking the interior of the bag and rolling it on itself so that it kind of doubles the strength. But yeah, pretty basic interior. When I actually asked the maker about this bag, I was sure at first that this was Chrome XL leather, because it feels very, very similar in kind of thickness and overall just tactile feel to a Loyal Strickland backpack that is Chrome XL that I have. But as he explained, it's just regular chrome tan leather, which I actually think will be great. Similar to Chrome XL, I think it will get softer over time. And I like that look for a duffel bag. So here are the two bags side by side in pretty good light. This one is the Horween Chrome XL, and you can see the color actually bunches up. It might be a little too bright to see it, but whenever it's bent, the color kind of dissipates.
right? Which is kind of a signature attribute of this type of leather. This does not. So you can see I'm kind of pinching and there's not really much distribution of color. Maybe black Chrome XL behaves similarly, but the maker did say it was just chrome tanned. And he confirmed it was not Chrome XL, so that's why I'm kind of just showing the differences here.
So in terms of price, this bag here was $350. It was on a sale at the shop in El Paso. And I think it's overall a great value, though I am cognizant that you can find many, many cheaper alternatives that are more of the kind of genuine leather option, online or probably with any retailer. The positive thing about this and what really drives up the price is that it is a local artisan who made this. You can tell they put a lot of care into how they manage the different stress points. The weight distribution of the bag, it's very heavy, but it distributes well because of the placement of the straps. And this thing's going to last forever. I have no doubts at all that it will get better with age. It's going to soften up and have more of that rugged look. Overall, I highly recommend this bag, and I had a chance to look at wallets and smaller bags and purses that T&L Leather makes. Give their shop a look, and if you're in the West Texas area or you have an opportunity to visit El Paso, please do go visit the owner. He is super kind. You can tell he's very passionate about what he does. He is a true maker, a true artisan. And yeah, this bag, 350 bucks. I would expect something like this to be double its price if I were to buy from a retailer like Filson. I'd also expect the price to be at least doubled if I was using vegetable tan leather, which I know some makers offer, and that's obviously a beautiful choice as well. Perhaps I'll pick one up someday. But for my kind of style, aesthetic, travel preferences, I think having a duffel of this size in chrome tan leather that's going to soften up and look more like what you'd expect a duffel bag to be is just my option. So T&L is great. Highly recommend the bag. It fits easily both under the seat on an airplane as well as in the overhead compartment if you're carrying a bit more stuff and it's kind of packed to the gills. Give them a shout. And if you like this video, if this was helpful, please do give me a like and subscribe. Would love to hear your comments if you've worked with T&L or seen any of their stuff before, or if you have a leather duffel bag that you'd highly recommend, let me know. I'm always in the market. Thanks so much, guys.